All right, everyone, welcome. Let's talk about the end of summer. Because for young athletes, it brings one big question to mind. This is it. It's the final push before school tryouts. So today, we're going to break down the game plan from the Canadian Elite Academy, everything they're offering to help players get sharp, confident, and totally ready for the season ahead.
So let's get right to it. With the school season literally just around the corner, this is the number one question on every athlete's mind. And you know, being ready isn't just about your fitness anymore. It's about being technically sharp, mentally prepared. You got to stand out when it really counts. So let's see how the Academy helps you do that.
First up, let's talk about your most immediate chance to get that competitive edge. These last few weeks of summer, they're a critical window. This is really your final opportunity for some focused work before you step on that court for tryouts.
And here it is, the Academy's premier Making the Cut camps. They kick off this coming Monday. Now, this isn't just about running endless drills, it's about getting those targeted tips and techniques that can genuinely make or break your chances at tryouts. And you're getting this from a coaching staff with over 100 years of combined experience. That's pretty incredible.
And look, you don't have to take my word for it. The proof is in the feedback. This quote from Talia, a parent, just gets right to the heart of it. It seems to be that combination of real skill building and getting to use those skills in a game right away. That's what creates the improvement that parents and athletes are always talking about.
Now, if you look at the schedule, you can see there's a really smart strategy here. The camps are structured to give super focused training for specific age groups and skill levels. So, an elementary player who's just starting out isn't going to be in the same gym as a senior in the Elite 1 group. Every single camp is tailored for that distinct stage of development.
And there's a crystal clear progression here. Each day just builds so logically on the one before it. You're starting with the fundamentals like passing on Monday, and by Wednesday, you're getting into more complex skills like blocking. But here's the key takeaway. Every single session wraps up with gameplay, which means you get to apply what you just learned in a real game immediately.
Okay, I gotta stress this point. You need to act fast. These camps are incredibly popular. I mean, some of them have sold out as early as March in previous years. With very limited spots, the message is pretty clear. Waiting until the last minute? Yeah, that's probably not going to work. But listen, the end of summer plan isn't just about these big camps. The Academy also has other ways for players to train all through August, making sure there's an option that fits different needs and, different goals.
So on Fridays in August, you've got two very different options. On one side, you have private training. That's for a small group, maybe up to 6 athletes, to really zero in on one specific skill. On the other side, you've got the open gym, which is less about coaching and more about getting tons of reps in a low-pressure, just play environment.
Now, this tiered system is absolutely central to their whole approach. By putting athletes in groups that match their current skill level, development just becomes so much more effective. Right? It keeps beginners from feeling totally overwhelmed and makes sure the advanced players are actually being challenged by their peers. And then, at the very top, you've got the restricted elite sessions. These are for the high-performance athletes who are ready to just stand above the rest. But what's really important here is that you can't just sign up for this. It's a status you have to earn through an evaluation. That way, everyone in that group shares that same drive and commitment.
And all of this really ties into the Academy's core philosophy. It's an approach that goes way beyond just physical skills. They're focused on building a smarter, more complete, and more resilient athlete.
Okay, now here's a really fascinating concept they use called discovery learning. The idea, especially in their leagues, is to actually step back on the direct coaching. So instead of a coach telling you every single move to make, the environment is set up so that you learn from the game itself and from your teammates. It's all about building that on-court IQ and problem solving.
And the psychological benefit here is just huge. This approach creates what they call a safe place to fail. By taking away the pressure of a coach correcting every single mistake, it gives you the freedom to experiment, to go for that risky serve or try a new kind of attack. And that freedom? That's often where the real growth happens.
The Academy also has this kind of counterintuitive idea about development. They believe being a leader at your current level is a massive advantage. And the theory is that's where you learn things like accountability, how to lift up your teammates, the skills that are essential for building real confidence and becoming truly resilient.
Okay, let's switch gears for just a second. This is a quick word for the parents out there. Some important logistical info just to make sure the whole experience is a smooth one for your athlete.
The refund policy is really designed to be fair, while also accounting for the Academy's own planning costs. It's pretty simple. For a single session, you can find your own replacement if you need to. For the camps, replacements aren't allowed, but you can get a refund as long as you give them at least 7 days' notice.
This number right here, it just speaks volumes about how the community feels. A 4.7 out of 5 rating based on over 250 reviews in just the last year alone. Well, that suggests the Academy's whole approach is really connecting with both parents and the athletes themselves.
And this parents' quote really connects the two most important ideas, skill and confidence. The feedback we see so often suggests that this focus on individual development and on putting athletes in the right competitive spot, it directly translates into a huge boost in their confidence.
So as summer starts to wind down, the training cycle just keeps on going. The Academy's already gearing up for the fall with the goal of providing a year-round path for every player to develop.
For anyone looking ahead, the full fall programming schedule is being finalized as we speak. You should see it announced within the next couple of weeks. And here's a little sneak peek of what's coming. The fall will continue the tiered training groups and leagues, but this last point is really something special. They're offering a league specifically for athletes who don't make their school or club teams. That is a serious commitment to making sure every single player has a place to keep playing and improving. So, if you're interested in any of these programs, the newsletter is definitely the place to be. And seeing how quickly some of these spots fill up, that's going to be the best way to get the info as soon as registration opens.
So, the question that all of this leads to is actually pretty simple. What's your next move? The path to excellence, in sports or anything else, it's built rep by rep. These final weeks of summer are just one more chance to build. Thanks for tuning in.